strategy because they should have enough to get to the end. Both the second and third place drivers are Herta and Wheldon, and Mira's not far behind. He should have enough to get to the end also. Remember, he's a teammate to Danica Patrick, who's leading this event right now.
Let's check in with Vince Welch.
We've been talking about Danica Wheldon, or Danica Patrick, and how she's having to run her fuel lean. Well, Dan Wheldon is running it as rich as it'll get. He's on setting number 1, so that means that the car is as powerful as it can be from a fuel perspective, and he is coming strong, chasing down the leader.
Scott, is there anything she can do? I mean, I know she's trying to conserve fuel, but when they're coming that fast, they're either going to pass her or they're going to push her. What does she do?
Well, Wheldon's just gone around Herta right now, so he's setting his sights straight ahead on Danica Patrick, who's done an outstanding job here all month and is fastest on carburation day. And remember, she had that little slip up on qualifying in turn 1 and lap 1. Otherwise, she might have been on pole. The key thing for her right now, Todd, is just to keep steady, look ahead of herself, and not look in the mirrors too much, and just listen to the spotters if Dan gets close. Remember, she's on that lean fuel trim, not making the horsepower out of the engine. Her car's not going to go down the straight as fast as Danny Wheldon, who is running 100% fuel by the report that we got from Vince Welch. Now, she knows where she's sitting. The key thing she has to do, though, is just be patient and make sure she makes no mistakes.
Danica Patrick leads the 89th running of the Indianapolis 500, but for how long? Dan Wheldon on the inside. He gets a run. Does he have enough?
Oh!
And there's a yellow flag coming out, and we have an incident taking place.
Yellow.
And how will this shake out?
Well, I'll tell you what, that yellow needed to be maybe a turn earlier, and Koski Masura right now looks like he has absolutely no brakes on that car as he starts to come down across the racetrack, but it'll be tough to get around Danny Wheldon on a restart. If Patrick was ahead.
Green flag. We are down to the final 10 laps of the Indianapolis 500.
She's got
Dan
the draft.
Wheldon. Look at this.
And the crowd is jumping up and down, Todd. Look at this. It's absolutely amazing.
Danica Patrick has moved out into the front. It is Danica Patrick leading with Dan Wheldon sitting in second. So the whole point with the green flag and if the pass was legit or not is moot. Danica Patrick is for real and she leads.
Look at the crowd just absolutely going crazy. You know, they've not sat down since the moment that she's actually taken the lead of this race.
All right, nice job. Keep looking forward. Look forward.
Now with
9 laps to go, Scott. Danica Patrick is there. Who was more nervous, Bobby Rahal or Danica Patrick or Danica's mom?
Well, you think about the history of all this going on here with the rivalry between Rahal and Andretti. You know something, in 1996, actually, or 1986, you had Bobby Rahal win this event. And the key thing right now is that Michael Andretti never won it as a driver, and he wants to win it as a team owner.
The last driver to win from the 4th position, Mr. Rahal. He is the owner of the Rahal Letterman team, and right now his driver is out there as we check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, they have told Danica to go to fuel position 1. That is full rich. That's why she was able to make the pass on the restart. That is maximum power as the nerves now begin to build here. Now the question is, at fuel position 1, which is where she has to stay to be able to stay in front of Wheldon, can she make it on fuel? And they really don't know now. They said it's going to be very, very close because all this power is burning up what little fuel they had left.
Dan Wheldon takes a look on the inside, decides not to go there with 8 laps to go. He tucks in behind Danica one more time as we ride on board the Rahal Letterman Argent Honda. It is Danica Patrick.
If he goes by here, draft him. If he goes by, draft.
Draft just to save fuel, just in case.
Inside, clear.
We saw moments ago a shot of David Letterman. He's very nervous, very much still in this race. One of his drivers, number 17, that's Vitor Meira. You can just see the yellow top of his tub. But the leader now is Dan Wheldon. He gets the pass. Can Danica conserve enough fuel to get another run on the Brit?
There's no doubt that the Andretti green car has been working better through the turns, coming off the turns faster onto the long straightaways. We saw that when Meira.
6 laps to go.
When we saw that when Meira was actually running around a couple of other Andretti green cars. Last year it was the opposite, where the Rahal Letterman cars like a Buddy Rice definitely had the car to beat. I talked about that rivalry that's going on right now. Michael Andretti never won this race as a driver. Bobby Rahal did. Bobby Rahal owns Danica Patrick's car. And now Michael Andretti just might get the win that eluded him as a driver, as a team owner.
And Scott, he has told us on many occasions throughout this year and last year, Dan Wheldon, that is, your leader, that this is the race he wants to win. It doesn't matter all the other ones he's won. He's won 3 this year. This is the one he wants.
Just think about this, the 5th race, that would be the 4th win so far this year. But I talked about the maturity of Danny Wheldon. Remember, he came here a few years ago, tried to run Sam Hornish down into the grass, couldn't make turn 3, ended up on his roof in turn 4. And you know something, he has matured as a driver since then. He's learned from his teammates, he's learned from the tutelage from Michael Andretti. And you know something, he's absorbed it all. He's become a smart, patient race driver.
Not one person is sitting here at the Indianapolis Motor Speedway, because with 5 laps to go, Danica Patrick sits in 2nd place and has a shot at immortality. But right now, one of the best drivers on the planet is leading her, and that is Dan Wheldon. It's Wheldon, Patrick, and Vitor Meira, your top 3 with 4 laps to go.
Todd, we talked about the 92 finish when I finished second to Alonso Jr. in that closest finish. Second changed my life. I cannot imagine how finishing second is going to change the life of Danica Patrick if she ends up finishing here today in 2nd place.
With 4 laps to go, no woman has ever won the Indianapolis 500. Until today, no woman had ever led it until Danica Patrick burst onto the scene. Right now, with 4 laps to go, she has an almost impossible task. That is keeping the fuel gauge right where she needs it to finish this race and somehow getting around maybe the fastest man in the world in Dan Wheldon.
Vitor Meira starting to creep up on her just a little bit, but if he can make the pass cleanly,
3 laps to go.
if he can make the pass cleanly, there's no doubt he will do it, but he would not put his teammate in jeopardy and take them both out.
He's inside with Vitor. Vitor's inside.
There she goes.
Clear.
She gets the draft. She's coming slow off turn 2.
Herta's starting to look on the outside. Herta's outside. You're clear.
Here's my wondering, Todd.
Yep.
The car's going through turn 2. Maximum G's. It seemed like it slowed down in the middle of the turn. That's when you get fuel starvation.
All right, don't let him by. You stay right there. Don't let him by.
Precious ounces of fuel in that car for Danica Patrick as she has slid back now to 4th place. Her shot may be over, but her story will certainly be told from days to come for what a tremendous performance by Danica Patrick as we check in with Dr. Jerry Punch.
Guys, 2 words down here, fuel pressure, and they're watching it. They're not sure if she can make it, but they're crossing their fingers, and those are the 2 words everybody is saying, fuel pressure.
And that fuel pressure comes from, there we go.
Turn 3, crash turn 3.
Well, I think we might know the outcome of this one right now. There goes the white and the yellow at the same time. And Danny Wheldon, don't want to say who I picked there, Todd.
I know, I got to give you credit. It's not a Gilles de Ferrin. You didn't wait till the white flag to call it, but there's celebration right now in the Andretti Green Camp. Climb Tools and Jim Beam, the folks down there. 26, the number 26 has never won the Indianapolis 500 until this day in 2005. The yellow flag is out, the white flag is out, the final lap. They cannot change their positions. Dan Wheldon will lead them around, and there you see the frustration on the face of Danica Patrick's face. Vince Welch?
Well, Dan Wheldon has won 4 of the first 5 races this season, but most importantly, he's won the Indianapolis 500. And Michael Andretti, you have won the Indianapolis 500. Congratulations.
Wow, I'm still in shock. It's unbelievable. Dan drove a hell of a race. You know, the whole Jim Beam, Klein Tools team did a great job. Honda giving us a great engine. It's just unbelievable.
I know it's not as a driver, the one that you really wanted it as a driver, but can you just put it into words as an owner what this win means to the Andretti family?
It's just incredible. It's such a great feeling. It's right now it feels as good as I think if I would have won it myself.
Let's go upstairs, Todd.
Thank you, Vince. Congratulations, Michael. The checkered flag is out in Indianapolis, and the pubs are open in the UK. Dan Wheldon has just won the Indianapolis 500.
Dan Wheldon really deserves this one too, and he drove so hard. And Michael, I mean, the team, what can I say? You know, it doesn't get any better than this.
Now Michael riding in the car to victory lane with Dan Wheldon. Guys.
Thank you, Vince. Well, Dan Wheldon is the man of the hour, but I'll tell you what, I've cast one vote for Woman of the Year, Danica Patrick. An amazing performance, but this young man from Emberton, England, started 16th, Scott, 16th, and here he is now in victory circle.
Amazing feat. We talked about patience early on in the race. He certainly did a great job with that, you know, and for a shoe fetish right now, he's got a lot more money to go buy some shoes.
No question about it, no question about it. Let's send it down to our good friend, Mr. Jackaroo.
A very emotional Dan Wheldon has made his way finally to victory lane. Mr. Wheldon, welcome to immortality.
Love you, buddy.
Danny, I know in that last lap, once the yellow came out and the checkered flag flew, that you got a little emotional in the car. The tears are still flowing.
Man, this has been a dream come true for me. I've loved the Indianapolis 500 ever since I have been a young kid, and I came here and watched it for the first time in 1999. I mean, you can see what a race it is, and you know, there's the best drivers in the world here, the best teams in the world, and I'm having an emotional moment. I'm just so proud. So thank you very much, everybody, to the Holman George family for giving everybody this race. It's the best in the world.
How about the fans today, Danny? I mean, we could have sold more seats because nobody sat in them.
I want to hear the fans some more. I can't hear you. Got to scream. This is the Indianapolis 500. It's the best race in the world, so everybody's got to be happy. But these fans make this race, and you know what? So does Indianapolis. It's the best place in the world right now.
Well, let me tell you when the fans will really start to scream. When you get this winner's wreath, the Borg Warner wreath on top of your shoulders, and most importantly, the milk. The milk is on its way to one Dan Wheldon. Dan, there you go, my friend. Getting the congratulations of Kim Green, Kevin Savory, and of course, Michael Andretti. And Michael, you're going to enjoy the milk too, aren't you, my friend?
Oh, yeah, I never had a sip of that. I need a sip. Never tasted milk so good. It was awesome. What a day. Dan drove a hell of a race. Whole Jim Green, Klein Tools. Guys did a great job. I finally won the Indy 500.
Yeah, welcome to Victory Lane, my friend.
Oh, yeah, no more curse.
Back upstairs.
Thank you, Jack. The 14th win for Andretti Green. It ties Panther as the all-time win leaders in the IndyCar Series. But today, all that matters is that Dan Wheldon is your winner of the 89th running of the Indianapolis 500. Much more from all the participants when we return to Speed City. Welcome.